Hey everyone, welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a totally high-yield topic for both your microbiology and surgery rotations, and that is gas gangrene. We're going to break this down systematically, mapping out the whole clinical journey, from that initial breach of the pathogen all the way to the life-saving interventions you got to make on the wards. All right, let's just get right into it. Our agenda today follows the actual progression of the disease. 1. Etiology and transmission. 2. Pathogenesis and toxin release. 3. Clinical features and examination. 4. Complications of gas gangrene. And finally, 5. Investigation and medical management. Let's go. Section 1. Etiology and transmission. So our main culprit here, Clostridium perfringens. You might also see it historically called C. welchi. Now, for your boards, you absolutely have to know its stats. It's a gram-positive rod, it's spore-forming, and, this is absolutely crucial, it's an obligate anaerobe. Where does it live? The soil. So infection happens directly via the contamination of a skin wound with soil, which basically jams those incredibly resilient spores right down into the deep tissue. Moving on to Section 2, Pathogenesis and Toxin Release. This perfectly illustrates the exact chronological progression of the infection. We can literally trace the pathway from the initial macroscopic event, the dirty wound, all the way down to the microscopic toxin release. Just picture the step-by-step sequence playing out in real time inside the patient's tissue. Okay, so step 1, spores get into the wound. Step 2 is where things really go south. Deep inside that wound, there's no oxygen, right? It's an anaerobic atmosphere. Under those specific conditions, those dormant spores suddenly wake up. They germinate into their vegetative or adult form. And once they're active, we hit step 3. They start pumping out a devastating exotoxin. And that brings us to a massive, highlighted twice, board concept. This perfringens toxin has a bunch of subunits, but the most lethal one, the alpha subunit. This alpha subunit is basically an enzyme called lecithinase. Let me repeat that because you really need to lock it into your memory. Lecithinase. So what is lecithinase actually doing in there? Well, upon contact, it acts like a microscopic wrecking ball. It enzymatically destroys cell membranes, causing a ridiculously rapid breakdown of pretty much any cell it touches. We're talking skin, subcutaneous tissues, muscles, blood vessels, and even red blood cells. It is just total, unmitigated cellular destruction of the host tissues in that area. Now, let's connect that microscopic biological breakdown to the physical reality. Because of this massive cellular lysis, the patient develops an incredibly rapid cellulitis right around the wound. And as the bacteria feast on these broken down tissues and cells, they produce degradative gases as a byproduct. So microscopic pathogenesis leads straight to macroscopic gas production. Hence the name, gas gangrene. Section 3. Clinical features and examination. When you're taking the patient's history, listen for a recent skin wound that was contaminated with soil. That is your immediate red flag. They're going to complain of this extremely rapid cellulitis spreading around the wound. And systemically, they won't just look a little under the weather. They'll present with a high fever. It's a massive inflammatory and infectious response. During your physical exam, it's really helpful to separate what you see from what you feel. On inspection, you'll observe severe pain, obvious redness, and profound swelling. But when you palpate, your hands will detect a markedly increased temperature over the site. And much more importantly, you will feel, and sometimes even hear, a very specific crepitus sound under the skin. And that crepitus, that crackling, popping sensation caused by those trapped, degradative gases we just talked about, that is your definitive diagnostic clue. A dirty wound, rapid cellulitis, and crepitus combined means you need to make an immediate presumptive diagnosis of gas gangrene. Section 4. Complications of gas gangrene. Because lecithinase destroys tissues and blood vessels so fast, this localized infection doesn't stay local for long. The first complication is the relentless progression of the gangrene itself, right up the limb. Next, the bacteria and their lethal toxins spill into the bloodstream, triggering profound septicemia. And finally, this all cascades into systemic shock and DIC, or disseminated intravascular coagulation. What started as localized tissue death has escalated into a fully systemic, life-threatening emergency. Finally, Section 5. Investigation and medical management. While you're rushing to start emergency treatment, you do need to quickly secure your microbiological evidence. The standard investigation protocol is super straightforward. obtain a wound swab for culture. That's going to eventually confirm the presence of Clostridium perfringens, but trust me, you are not waiting around for those results to start saving the patient. Treatment is an aggressive multi-step beast. Step 1 is aggressive resuscitation. Your patient is likely heading into shock, so you're pushing IV fluids and inotropes to stabilize their hemodynamics. Step 2 is surgical source control. Unfortunately, this often means amputation of the gangrenous affected limb. You physically have to remove that dead anaerobic tissue where the bacteria are thriving. Then, step 3 is targeted pharmacological therapy. The drug of choice protocol is the perfringens antitoxin to neutralize the circulating lecithinase, combined with heavy-hitting IV metronidazole to wipe out the remaining anaerobic bacteria. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a clinical challenge for your next rotation. Think about this. Given the incredibly rapid cellular destruction caused by the alpha toxin lecithinase, and the fact that it literally destroys the very blood vessels needed to deliver medications, why must drastic mechanical intervention, like an amputation, so often precede your targeted IV antibiotics? Reflect on that aggressive timeline. Remember, in the battle against gas gangrene, time and tissue are absolutely everything. Thanks for learning with me today, and keep up the great work in your studies.